Hello, everybody. I am super excited to have you guys with us tonight. If you didn't happen to see the live that I did in Rockstars, and I believe that Kenzie also posted it in the social media challenge groups, we are combining the social media challenge coaching calls with our Sizzle, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that we're simplifying. We really want to be able to give you guys extra time to be able to do your business and life without falling into that corporate rabbit hole where we're full of meetings and all of that stuff. So the simplification for that is going to be good for all of us. And the majority of you that show up to the Sizzles are also doing the social media challenge. So we're just going to kill two birds with one stone. If you're not doing the social media challenge and you're not part of that, I hope that you'll still get some value with what we're going to talk about, because it really is a lot of personal development, a lot of responsible social media behavior and different things like that. So if you have a presence on Facebook, it's good to know how that should be run responsibly anyway. So I'm going to start off with some oil stuff. So if you guys don't have the I'm Fabulous book, it's this book right here. I highly, highly recommend it. It's really, really cool. I am fabulous. So I wanted to give you guys a roller for what we're doing, and just for moving forward on this path and new goals and for May, and it's called On My Path. So On My Path is used when you're on the journey to discover your deepest purpose in life. It's a blend of self-discovery. In our fast-paced, technology-obsessed society, many people rarely take the time to just sit and listen to their own voice. On My Path will provide moments to connect with your higher power and your deepest self. This is an excellent blend to apply before prayer and meditation. I recommend taking a moment of silence and take deep oh Lord have mercy. Breathe deep from your diaphragm. Breaths before applying. So the blend breakdown is Hawaiian sandalwood calms and opens your heart to communicate with your higher power. It is in this stillness where truth can be heard. Lavender allows you to verbally express your truth with confidence. Who doesn't need confidence while we're expressing for this 30 days? That'll be awesome. Frankincense dispels confusion. Only truth shines in the presence of frankincense. Juniper berry releases any fears that hold you back from being your true self. Wild orange helps you see the limitless talent you possess. Eucalyptus creates the desire to step into your truth. Geranium builds trust in your unique and beautiful path. And lemon brings clarity to the headspace so that confusion does not exist in your journey of self-discovery. So, do you want me to tell you the recipe now or post the recipe? How do you want to work that?
So you got to tell us now. What the heck?
Okay, so it's 7 drops of Hawaiian sandalwood, 5 drops of lavender, 3 of frankincense, 5 of juniper berry, 3 of wild orange, 2 eucalyptus, 1 geranium, and 1 lemon. So this, you place drops in a 5 ml roller bottle, fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil, apply across forehead and back of neck, inside of elbow crease, and or around belly button. So I thought this was a super cool roller blend to have for what we're doing. And I'll post it in the group as well, in case you missed that. Did everybody get what they needed for that?
Romy?
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit more about that book for those it's all different blends, correct? And then it goes through each blend and what it does for you, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it moves more into what the emotions, it's more focused on the emotions and life in general as we use the oils. So there's just a bunch of blends for different places that we are in life, different things that are going on. Is that what you're asking? Okay. So I'll post the book.
Where do you get this book?
You can get this book on Amazon. You can get it Aroma Tools and probably Oil Life. So let me just say something quick about Oil Life. You want to be super careful about sending people to Oil Life and different products that they're purchasing because they're opening it up to other oil companies. So your new A to Z guides have other oil company oils in those guides. If that doesn't bother you, go for it.
Just so that you guys know, the Truman website has a oil book like the A to Z guide, and I've been using that instead, and it's comparable in price. And
Yeah.
That way it's more towards doTERRA.
Right. And that's actually what I'm moving towards is to, we use all of the True Wellness material, and that is the material that I will be recommending going forward, mostly because I just really like it. It's not because I don't like what other companies are offering. I just really like how Boyd does this. So the True Wellness is that's Boyd Truman's site. So okay. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of things, and we'll let Jennifer and Kenzie talk, and then we'll go into some questions, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and some testimonies about how things are going. I got an amazing message just a little while ago about just the breakthrough that she was having, and just really how helpful this was, even after being part of some other social media programs. So I'm thrilled by that, and so I would love to hear your guys' comments and how it's working, and also your struggles if we can help you with that. So one of the points I want to make right out of the gate is if you're using your personal Facebook profile when you're doing this, which is what we're recommending that you do, you want to have your posts set to public. So did you want to say something, Jennifer?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So one of the big reasons for having your, there's a couple big reasons to have your profile public is that we want to increase our network and we want to increase our reach. And so when our Facebook profile is set to just our friends, or it's not public, then that is restricting our reach. It also prohibits pretty much most people from sharing your posts. So one of the things that we really want to work on is that we want that interaction. So we want people to be commenting on our posts. We want people to be liking. We want to be making sure that we are interacting with what's happening as people are communicating with us, and we want shares. So the more that happens on our posts, the more we're going to come up in the feed, and we're just going to be more noticed. So I know it's kind of hard for a lot of us as we get going in this. When I started, I was very, very nervous about stepping outside my comfort zone and stepping outside that box. When I very first started all of this, it was a learning experience all the way around. And you just got to fake it till you make it. You just really got to get out there and just pretend, put your head in a space where It just doesn't matter what other people think or, you know, what they say. It just doesn't matter, because the person that you're meant to connect with and the one that you're meant to help, it will matter to them. And that's where the authenticity comes from, and really recognizing who it is that we're talking to. So super, super important to keep that engagement up and increase that engagement. And like we said last week, you know, you just push through the fear, because that specific fear that you have for that very first time when you're doing it, you'll never have that again, because you'll do that one time and that will be it. And then you just move on to the next one. So, and it's an awesome feeling to be able to push through that fear and be able to do it. The other one that I wanted to touch on is the accountability partner. And we call it PACE partner. It's your, you know, the partner that you're on this journey with. It's not a requirement by any means, but it's something that I highly encourage. And so if you know the people that are in the other groups, you know, you can reach out. The team is, you guys are really good with the communication and the relationship cross team already. And so if you don't know who's doing the challenge, then there's going to be somebody that does know that you can reach out and become a partner with them. The main thing the reason that I think having a partner in this is that we are going to have down days. We're going to have days where, you know, we're going to need that little oomph to get us moving, to, you know, to really help us, to remind us of why we're doing this and the goals, and to stay positive. And so as you're finding your partner, if you don't have one, and if you can't find a partner, then the leaders in the group or I will help you. Somebody will help you in that if you can't find that partner. But it's super important to find someone that you're going to connect with well, and it's not going to be comfortable to fall into that pit of negativity. We really want to make sure that we're intentional about, even though we're expressing our discouragement or our fear or whatever else is happening when we're doing this, we really want to make sure that we are hooked up with someone that is, one, going to boost us, two, is going to call us on our crap, and the other is that you're gonna love running with this person to be able to just keep on going. That's there, you know, you guys are gonna be a team to be able to finish this challenge to the end. We don't have any of those high requirements of enrollments or anything. It really is the only requirement that we have for being in this challenge is that you're going to engage with us, and you're going to engage in the challenge and engage in the group, because it's a matter of we're all doing this together and we're all helping each other. So that's what I got on that. Does anybody else have a question about accountability partner? Any other comments about that?
I just want to plug in. There are a few I know that are still looking, and we've been talking about it. So I would say within the next 12 to 24 hours, let's make sure you have one. So make it like your top priority right now, if that's something that you do desire.
Yeah. It will be fun to have someone that you can just make that connection with. So that's what I have on that. Jennifer and Kenzie, which one? Either one. You got something?
Am I muted? Hi, testing. Hey everybody. No, so just to like go off of that, it's amazing to watch the interaction in the group, all of you guys in participation, and it really does like Romy said, that first time you guys do this, that it's like a rush of that. It's that adrenaline rush. It's that nervousness. It's that scared. It's all those things piled into one. But once you do it and those people start reaching out to you, it becomes almost exciting. You know, these people will start, like Neil, you said you had someone reach out, out of just from a live. Like that would have never happened without that live, you know? So to think of the possibilities of what you guys can have from this, So just to like give you guys an idea of, I was talking with my team last night, and and this business honestly has just become my passion. And so I want to share something with you, and this is something that I started doing in some of my lives and with my customers, but I am in recovery. So I'm 2.5 years into my recovery, and it was really, thank you. It was a blessing doTERRA came into my life. I literally was existing, not living, and then doTERRA came up into my life, and it has changed my life. And so for me to send that message, and this is just giving you an idea of the power of social media, but for me to share that message with other people, and of course, like, whatever your message may be, whatever you feel that you can share with others, when you're comfortable to do so, you're going to change so many lives with that. And by doing it live and through social media, I get to the ability to touch hundreds of people in a 20-minute video. And the messages that I get after is what drives me. It is what is my passion. Like, I can't sleep. I don't like to go to sleep at night. I don't even like the daylight to go away because I have sunglasses still on my head. So like, that's the passion for me in this. And you're going to see that. You're going to see that develop through this, the power of social media too. You're going to connect being authentic, being yourself. You're going to connect to your tribe. You're going to connect to the people that are like you or similar to your likes and similar to your lifestyle. And you become a community in your own. And it's just empowering, just like these oils and the products are empowering for us in our lives. Social media can become empowering to build a community. I posted, that I was pushing for a diamond, and the amount of people that cross-line doTERRA, people in my organization, people outside of our organization, pushing and being my cheerleaders. That alone too is the support. The support starts to develop too. So it becomes an extended family. I mean, a lot of you I've talked to personally, on the phone. I feel like I've known you guys forever, and that's the power of social media. I feel like we went to high school and we're talking about, our reunion. So that's the power of social media. Is it scary? Yes. Is it tricky to get used to the schedule and posting and, putting these posts together and coming up with content? Yes, in the beginning, but like, this is a healthy habit, like our doTERRA healthy habit. This is a healthy social media habit. Eventually you're going to be able to do this with your eyes closed. Eventually you're going to come up with so much stuff. You're going to be like, I can't post all that. You're going to have to pick and choose because it becomes a habit, so that's exactly what this social media challenge is. So I think like kudos to all of you guys are doing great, and the participation is amazing. And I'm loving getting to know all of you guys just through that social media group. So I think that's fabulous, and it's exciting and fun, and it's another way to add on to building to your business.
And one thing I was thinking about while you were talking about that is that there's a lot of people on here, so I can't tell who's in the challenge or not. So if you are not in the challenge and you are all about classes, that's awesome. But the concept of what we're talking about as far as being authentic and, building those relationships and just really being the real you, that's not any different on social media. And, you're going to do the same thing in your classes because it's the relationship part of it. And when we're doing stuff on social media, we're still going belly to belly eventually. Eventually, there's going to be some kind of a contact in there. So we really want to make sure that we are legit, whether we're online or offline. We are always on. We're always the real us. We're always authentic. We're always honest. And for the most part, what I think about is that's my credibility. My credibility means a lot to me. And I don't ever want to have someone think that I am fake and that, what you see is, not what you get. And so that is something that's super important. Our integrity and all of that, that's on us. That's all we got. And so it's super important to make sure that as we're putting ourselves out there, that we are authentic, and the vulnerability that I have been seeing in the videos. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you what, quite a few years ago, I read something about vulnerability, and people, when you're vulnerable, people really, really connect with that. There's just something about that. That doesn't mean that you have to get on a Facebook Live and bawl your eyes out. Not everybody does that. But it is just that, it's like Jen's talking about. She's sharing her story. Everybody has a story. Everyone has a story. It's just a matter of figuring out what your story is. And when you're standing in front of a class, you need to know what your story is, because that needs to be woven into your education. They need to know the real you. So this is not any different in whichever modem we decide that we're gonna use. That part stays the same. So that's what I have about that.
It makes you relatable, right? So when people can relate to you, they want to talk more with you. They want to see what you actually have to talk about. And that right there is building the relationship. So if I walk into a room and I share that I, have, I'm a little stressed out, someone else who's a little stressed out, well, how does that happen? The conversation starts like, well, this is why, and this is why. Well, guess what? We have a solution for that, So that's there is you're building the relationship with the person. Vulnerability isn't weakness. Vulnerability is a sign of strength. It's a sign that you are able to talk about your situation and be confident that you're moving forward. So vulnerability is everyone, like Romy said, everyone has a story. My story is no different than anyone else's. It's individual, So being relatable really helps to connect with people. Is it scary? Yeah. Is it scary to start to do that? But again, you start to get these messages from people thanking you, saying, I appreciate you opening up. I appreciate you sharing this. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you have to go and share something that's very deep for you, or if you're not ready to share. Even something as simple as, I had a really rough day today, and but I was able to conquer with my oils. That is, even that slightest of the vulnerability statement is something that someone can relate to. So like Romy said, you don't have to go on a live and bawl your eyes out. You really want to think about your why and your story and when you're ready to share that. So, but even the smallest amounts of that vulnerability, like Facebook's not perfection. No one wants to see perfect. No one wants to see. I was talking with someone today, and I was like, when I first started doing Facebooks, I wore makeup. Hello, I don't wear makeup. I used to do my hair and my makeup, and I was like, I gotta make sure I got no stains. Clearly that's changed nowadays. But people are able to relate to me in my very busy day and my very full life, working a business and having a family. And so that it comes in time too. So all of this happens over time. When you first go out the gates, you're going to evolve. You're going to evolve to be more comfortable and be more open to sharing things. But the one thing to stay true to is being authentic. Like Romy said, be yourself. Don't change. Because then if you're going to act to be something different, when the backpedaling has to happen, that's a lot more work than you need to do. So,
heck yeah, that'll be exhausting.
Yeah.
So, Dana asked, when you go live, can it be about anything or need to include oils? And how long do you keep the lives? So what I think you need to go with your gut when it comes to the lives. I think that if you have a day where you want to talk about oils, whatever you want to do about the oils, I think you need to do that. If you have a day where you want to just sit and talk about your life, what's happening with you, I think you need to do that. You really need to trust your gut in this and just go with that. As far as the length, I think I say don't worry about the length. Don't even think about what that is. Don't think about it being too short. Don't think about it being too long. Because if you're doing this with intention and you're setting out and you're just really getting in there and sharing your heart and what is important to you, you're gonna give exactly what is needed. And if that's 2-minute and 30-second video, then that's what it is. If it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, then that's what it is. So don't get hooked in and really caught up in some of the details. Just do the action, be real, and just go for it in that way. And it will all work itself out.
Try not to look at the top of how many viewers that you have, or try not to look at the time. Another tip is if you really wanted to go on there and you needed to share something that was important to you, and you just needed to get your word out, there you can swipe the comments to the side. So if you were really nervous, and so what you do is you can swipe those comments to the side so you don't see any. And what you can say is, I'm just want to get on here and I wanted to talk about this. I swiped the comments so I can't see because I really just needed to get this off of my mind. And that's another way to kind of get yourself used to talking to the phone. But like Romy said, just don't pay attention to the time. Go with your gut. Do with whatever feels good. I will say, stay away from anything negative. If you are having a bad day and it's a rant, don't do that on live, because that's just going to attract negative stuff. And you're going to get a lot of, we have these days, and that's what a PACE partner's for. That's what an accountability buddy's for. It's to rant about, oh my God, I've had the worst day and I don't want to do this, but I have to. Like, if I want to build my business, this is the step I got to take. So avoid the negativity, avoid controversial things, make it light, make it happy. But if it's something, like Romy said, deep from your heart, talk about it. Just try to stay away from that negative. I don't know if I'm making sense, but stay away from that negative part of it, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Kenzie?
I'm here. I just have a couple things this week that I just want to throw out there for some ideas. The first one is, I see a lot of you, when you do go live, we're in a hurry, right? Because all of a sudden our camera's on and there's just words flying out of your mouth because you're live. Don't be afraid to take like even 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and continue to get set up and let people get on. Because as you probably see, as you're scrolling through your Facebook feed and people are live, the video starts playing for a second before you click on to listen. So don't worry about that buffer space. People know that it's a raw video. So don't worry too much about making it, right out the gate so commercialized. Going back to the lives about the oils, I think it's key to sell the destination and not the airplane. A lot of times we want to talk about the oil itself and the ingredients and how to use it and where to use it. Focus more on the result of it, right? What's the destination of using that oil? Is it better sleep? Is it emotional support? Is it whatever that is? Because people, like Jen was just saying, that's what they're going to relate to, is you. No one is going to relate to an ingredient. So don't focus so much on the actual product itself. And that's why this business works. If doTERRA wanted to sell retail, they'd make commercials and put them on TV and talk really fast and give a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. But this is why this works, is through that personal touch. So don't be afraid to just slow it down and talk about where that oil's getting you. And then the last thing that I have for you is, I have seen several people in the group asking questions about lives and messaging me about lives. And I've checked in on a few of you, and you have yet to go live. So I know that it's in your heart of hearts and we want to do it and you're almost there. Don't be afraid to practice, right? Just like if you're one to teach classes, you've probably taught your class to like your spouse 500 times, right? You can just rattle it off because you've practiced. It's okay to practice alive. That's totally fine. And if you want the feeling of practicing alive, if you go into your messenger on Facebook and you hold in the camera button, you'll record a little video to send to that person, and it'll send no matter what. So if you want to practice, jump on with Jen or Romy or me in message and hold down your camera and start talking and just see what it feels like to send something, without having the control of it. Practice. And that's a fun way to interact with people too. We talk about voice messaging. It's also fun to just hold in that camera button and send people a short clip of yourself.
I was actually thinking about that because you had just shared that you can do that the other day, Kenzie. So we do the voice messages, which has been working awesome, and the feedback was really good for that as well. But practice doing those videos in messaging as well. Just get in there and do your message on a video. But one of the things I was thinking about when you were talking, Kenzie, is what I noticed is that I have more fun when I do a video if I do it with someone. So like I did one with Karina. I've done it. It's more fun and it's more relaxing. So if you have somebody, in your vicinity that you want to just get together and partner with and just do something fun together as a practice and just do that. Or if you want to learn how to do the invite and bring somebody onto your live and do a conversational live, for one thing, I think that will bring about even more interaction, because then you got two people. If you're bringing them on your live as a guest, you've got two people that have contacts that are going to be interacting on that video. But there's just different ways to do this that will stretch you, get you out of your comfort zone, and still have fun doing it. I intend on doing videos more with people. Mostly because it's just super fun. Yeah, I love the being able to interact and go back and forth, and that's what Mark and I are going to start doing, some lives together and talk about our travels, and because we have a ton of people that are asking questions about that. And so going back to posting about the oils, it's about the attraction marketing. You're attracting people to you and your life. And so if you're sharing your life, that's what's going to draw people in. And that's going to be more fun. Yes, Karina?
So with doing the lives together, when as you guys know, when the husband comes home full time and trying to find the place on how best to support and help within the business and still feel really connected with what's going on, the live was something that Russ was like, you know what? I feel like I'm contributing. He said, this was amazing. Can we still do this? Can we do more of these? And I was like, yes. It rocked. And it was a lot of fun.
And it was really good. They're really good. So I think having a partner when you're doing it, it brings out even more of your personality. So, but
if you have kids too, people love kids. People love to see the kids involved. That's always a big part of it too. So if anyone, like they're saying, anyone you can involve in your videos, if you can, do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, if I involve Brianna, I involve my son Eric, and my husband Alan has no clue about oils, not a clue, none. And so involving him makes it fun because they're like, well, here's this guy. And it's relatable, right? Because here's a guy in a house with someone that uses nothing but oils, but this guy has no clue. So it makes it relatable to people. They're like, well, he doesn't have a clue. Let's see what it's all about. So
let's just say, like, for someone who,
I think too, on that sense, like I love like Jen's husband right now. He's walking around like this is obviously part of their everyday life. It's just like, yeah, the camera's on. Like as long as everyone's clothes on, we're all good, right? Like
yes, keep your clothes on.
What we have to do though is when you look at that sheet, I've had a lot of questions from you guys about planning for the next day. And I think one of the best ways you can plan is to plan your social media around your current day and not your day around the social media sheet. So think of like, just for example, look at yesterday, what you did and how you could have plugged that into the day instead of getting up and staring at that sheet and trying to create that. Just let whatever's happening in your life flow with that. And you'll find you're being more authentic. You're being more yourself. You see what I mean? This is ridiculous, Jennifer. Like my kids, I'm screaming in the tub. There's my authenticity for you.
That's because I'm muted. You can't hear him.
Iris, you're dying to say something. Let me hear it, girlfriend.
I can't figure out how to do it. There. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. I've got the phone because the computer all day has been doing dumb stuff, and so I couldn't do half of what I wanted to do on social media. But I went back and looked through my YouTube stuff today and realized that everything there was just things that I'm doing all the time in my life. And so what you said, Kenzie, is perfect, because you can't live your life around the social media. Your social media has to fit in with your life. That's all. Now I'll see if I can shut up and get off of here.
I can help you out. Do you want me to put you on mute?
Yes, please.
There you go.
I think one of the things that's cool about having, like the other day when I was doing the live, my grandson came in and out. I think with having the kids kind of pop in and out and your family popping in and out, that makes it kind of brings about that thought. If someone's thinking about doing this as a business, whether it's, hardcore or even just a little bit, that makes it so it's easy to see, it's like, okay, well, these guys got, their family is like all over the place. I got family, I'm busy, I can't, I don't have time to do business. But then when they see that we have stuff going on in our lives as well, and we're still doing it, that helps other people to see that you can still do it that way. You can still do life and do a business at the same time and have that freedom. So it's just more thought-provoking things. We just want to pique curiosity. That's what it is. So
It makes people think that they can do this business if they can see the way you're living your life. Exactly. Like they see that, my laundry doesn't get folded. My kids, we're in the middle of dinner. I'm killing bees on my lives. Like it makes it so people can feel like it's not set up in a pretty office. I'm in a house with a bunch of people that are loud, but you do it. You're sharing. It's that whole relatable again, Any of you with small children, and having the small children involved, they're going to say, another mom's going to look at that and go, I can do that. Or someone with a full life, a full-time job, but they come home and they talk about their day and the oils that they use to support themselves. And then other people will like, I can do that too. This looks fun, So it becomes being relatable. And like what Kenzie said, take the scheduling part of it out. Like, don't make this a job, because then it becomes, like you said, Romy, I don't want to be a part of a 9-to-5 working for somebody. This is why I got into this business. Like, take that out of this business and it doesn't have to be perfect. When you wake up and you see something you think someone's going to be interested in, and sometimes, even just sharing a thought, share it. Make it your post. Make it fun and make it with the flow. Like something you ate for breakfast that other people might enjoy. Who eats oatmeal? Or who eats cereal? Who eats at breakfast? Put a thought out there, a thought that people can interact with you. So take that scheduling and perfection out of it, and then that sheet again is just a guide. That sheet's a guide to give you the steps to do in a day. It's practice to do all of those. It's practice, but just do what you can and take that perfection out of that every checklist off, make it fun.
I think that's why I shoot from the hip with everything, like literally everything. And I think that's one of the things that worked really well for me when I very first started the business is that if I posted, it was from the heart. It was spontaneous. I didn't, I have definitely gone through and scheduled some things. I'm telling you, it's not near as fun to go through and schedule stuff than it is to just post from the heart. Post, like Jen says, if you see something funny and you want people to see it, then you just throw it out there. And so it's like Melissa asked if you need to do a live every day. The videos on the checklist, it recommends 3 lives a week. If you feel like you want to or you need to do a live every day, by all means do it. That's just going to boost you faster. But stick to if you're wondering how to do stuff, go off the sheet and do the sheet. And if you've got some things on the sheet that you really like to do more of that when you've got the time to do it. But it really is, a lot of this is spontaneous, just spontaneous and real. So does that help, Melissa?
I think too, just to give it one more plug on that, you cannot automate a relationship.
Exactly.
You just really can't do it. And if you try, it's not going to work out very well.
Right.
So, and then one more thing I'm going to throw out there about the Premier bonus. I was on another call about this. You guys, there is so much money in that Premier bonus pool that if you're that rank, I think it's Elite or Premier, you can qualify. If you get an enrollment with 100 PV or higher, you will get that bonus. And it's around $200 a month. That means you can go live and give away an enrollment and you will get that money back. So make sure you're utilizing that bonus because a lot of people aren't and there's money left on the table.
Yeah. So one thing about the automation so when I presented at convention, after my presentation, my presentation was on social media. And so after my presentation, I had a guy that was, he was a diamond or more. And yeah, but he came up and he asked me, because he missed it. And he's like, so I was super interested in learning how you're doing social media. What I really want to know is how do you automate all of that? And it's like, if you really understood how social media worked and the relationship aspect of it, you would not ask about that because you cannot automate that part of it. You just can't. You just can't. It doesn't make sense to even want to try to do the automation part with this because this is all about relationships. If you're not interested in building relationships, then this is not for you.
So another thing that I like to do as well is, how we talk about our why we're doing this business, what is our passion, what is our why for this. Another thing that I did, and it's still sitting on my my ring light thing, but is I put a picture of my kids. Put a picture of my kids and my husband right there, and when I push that live button, all of that nervousness disappears, all of that worry disappears because I look at my why. Like, this is my why. This is exactly why I'm doing this. I'm looking at my family and I want to build this business. I will be a presidential diamond. I will. And that's my reason. My reason staring me back in the face. So when you take all that, away and you put that in front of you, the whole nervousness and the whole reason for what you're doing changes.
Yeah. So one more thing, and then we'll open it up for questions so we'll try and stick to as close to an hour as possible. So one of the things I wanted to throw out there that I have been intentionally doing, and I've done this before and it's worked, and I'm doing it intentionally now. So as you're moving forward and you think about and you're trying and you're envisioning where you want to be in, say, a year from now, or your next, if you're going for a rank. So say you're going for silver. So silver is a leadership rank. And so envision in your head what does a silver leader look like? What does the position, what does that person look like? What do the responsibilities look like? What does the confidence look like? What do the emotions look like? How does all of that feel when you attain, when you're at that goal? And when you grab a hold of all of that, step into that now. Because once you step into that feeling now, and you envision yourself and you see yourself as that person today, rather than wait for you to become presidential diamond and then step into that role, you're playing catch up, and it will probably be really hard to reach that rank anyway. So step into the rank today and start acting like the person that you are moving towards and that you want to be. And like I said, I have started to do that intentionally, and I feel my confidence rising. And I've talked about this on other Zooms, and I mean, for a long, long time, I've had it where if people really knew me, would they really like me? And so that inferiority complex and that fear and all of that has held me back through different periods of building the business. And by doing this intentionally, then it doesn't leave room for all of that negativity and that fear and all of that. We're faking it till we make it. We are already that person. It just hasn't caught up with us yet. And our brains will help us to achieve that. The subconscious kicks in. It will help us. And we will know the strategies and the tools that we need if we step into that belief and just be the person that we want to be and we desire to be, that we're designed to be. Because we're designed to be good people with a great, great destiny and a huge legacy. So might as well step into it now. Don't wait, because you'll lose out on all kinds of good stuff. Okay, questions? So everybody's good? Everybody knows what they're doing?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I posted it earlier in our group, but I know not everybody here can see that. So I've been friending people because it feels really easy to me, and I have been finding people that I have at least 2 friends in common with. So I do what any responsible Facebook stalker does. I go to their page, I make sure that I know the people that it says we have in common, and it's not like some weird group that I joined 5 years ago, and then I friend them. And I've had, today alone, I've had 4 people come back to me after they friended me and say, "Who are you and why did you friend me?" And I'm like, you accepted the friend request. Like, why are you interrogating me? So what's your best comeback for that?
I tell people in most situations like that, and I actually get messages like that, like my response is that I just say, I am looking for people that are positive and, happy and, just in a good place. And I like being able to connect with people that are like-minded. And that's it. I don't do anything else, because people really they're ready to be spammed, because there are so many people that are doing this irresponsibly. They are ready to be spammed. And so that's where we get to step in, and so many people are doing this challenge, and it's going to be a ripple effect. So what you're learning is going to carry over and duplicate into some of your team with the people that are wanting to do that. And so we get to be part of creating a change for the better when it comes to using social media responsibly. Never, never, never do a cold message to somebody about your product or your opportunity. Never, never, never. Did I say never? So
Can I add to that too? Can I add to that? So when you have mutual friends, because I always try to look for a mutual friend somewhere, you can always just say, oh, hey, we had so-and-so as a mutual friend, and I love her. She's a ton of fun, and I saw your Facebook profile picture and just wanted to connect and say, hey. So, and just leave it like that, So it's a uplifting kind of excitement. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to, startle you, but hey, can we be friends? Just kind of something simple to that. But like Romy said, I love positive people. Your Facebook profile screams positive. Can't we be friends?
Okay,
Another
so
thing-
I actually had one of those today that I responded to. So she was, she's actually my best friend's friend, and my best friend currently moved away to Alabama, but we may have met, but I'm not for sure because I've done several classes for my friend in South Dakota, and she used to live there. But she, after I sent her the friend request, she accepted it and then sent me the message, hey, have I met you? I know that Janelle and we're friends with Janelle, but have I ever actually met you, and what do you want? And so my response to her was, Janelle is my really good friend. I saw by your profile picture that we may have some things in common. I am currently trying to help Janelle build her business, and just wanted to kind of touch base and see if we had more in common, and so that you can see what I am sharing. I am not looking to spam you. This is not a salesy thing, friendship. I did not friend request you to sell you something. I just wanted you to have the opportunity to see what we are sharing. And I just left it at that.
My favorite thing to say is, well, I was wondering if you had a credit card. Like, do you have a credit card number that, seriously, because that's what people are expecting, right? And that's what I come back with. When someone sends me a spammy message, I flat out say, do you want my credit card now, or do you have like more of a spiel to give me, right? And what it feels like. But I wouldn't be afraid to just leave it maybe for a minute, because what's going to happen is they've messaged you, so the chances of you showing up in their news feed is going to be more relevant than not. So let her kind of check you out a little bit more and then come back to her. Otherwise, it does kind of feel like you're sitting at your computer stalking people, because we kind of are in a way, right?
Yeah.
But I would just let it come back to that.
And one thing that that can help to prevent that in some way, and I was actually going to talk about this and I forgot. So if you see somebody, like especially if you're on a page or a group, like you can go to a group that whatever group that you're in with your interests, or a page, just go to that page and intentionally what I do is I just pray about who I'm supposed to connect with. And so I go to that person's wall if they are open where I can have some interaction with that, then I will go and I'll like some of their pictures. I will find something on purpose that I can go and comment on and do that for a little bit. So that way your name pops up, they recognize your name, and then send a friend request. And that works very well, doing it that way. All right. So if you have questions, the leaders that are in the group are doing a fabulous job with being in the group. You guys are doing amazing with your interaction. Kenzie, do you feel comfortable sharing with the group what you told me today about the challenge, about the interaction with the challenge? Do you remember what we talked about, or yesterday? About the activity, the interaction?
Oh yeah, sure. So Romy and I were just kind of talking about the challenge, and so I work with a lot of leaders in doTERRA, and I've helped run a lot of challenges over the years. And to be honest with you, what I told Romy was I feel like this is the most authentic and positive challenge that I've ever been part of. Like, this is the first challenge that I feel like has really got that snowball going, where it's just kind of happening. Everyone seems to be on like this up and up and moving forward. And I think my favorite thing about this challenge is we don't have like a front run winner. It's like everyone's getting something out of it in their own way, and everyone's growing at their own pace. And it's just been the most amazing thing for me to see. Because in the past, to be honest, what happens is we'll launch a challenge, and one weekend we've lost half the people, right? Usually about a quarter of the people that start a challenge will finish. And this, it's like really not even a challenge. It's a launch to get you started really in your pipeline and to know what to do and what to look for. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah. And that is because of you guys. That is because of your engagement and your commitment. And it is totally because of you guys. If it wasn't for you guys getting in there and interacting and just really being a part of this, all of that would be irrelevant. So I'm totally appreciative of everything that you guys are doing just with being with us and doing what you're doing. I'm loving watching everything, and I just feel the energy the energy is fantastic. It's just super cool. And as you guys are doing your thing, that increases my excitement, and it just makes me want to jump in and do more. So it's fantastic. Super, super grateful for all of you guys that are participating in this and showing up on the calls and asking questions and all of that. It's really, really good. Really good. So yep, go for it.
Can I say something? This is
Yes, ma'am.
Iris again. And I am not doing everything on that challenge or the daily checklist page. I can hardly get through half of it. But part of it is just that I'm so slow, apparently. I don't know. But I don't feel the pressure to have to get through every little thing.
Good.
And I think that is part of what makes this so easy and so positive. Like Kenzie says, it's just, you've got to do what you need at your own pace. And so thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we're
Kenzie,
in this together. Okay, we're going to do a giveaway and then we are off. Yep, you can quit recording if you want, please, Kenzie.